He walked into his own house and completely froze. What he saw in that living room changed him forever. Daniel Carter was not the kind of man who came home early, ever. He was the kind of man whose assistant had an assistant. The kind of man who had 3 phones and answered all of them at the same time. He built his real estate company from nothing. No family money, no connections, no safety net. Just a kid from a small town who refused to lose. By the time he was 38, Daniel had everything the world told him to want. A big house in Atlanta, 2 luxury cars in the driveway, a company worth over $40 million. But here's the thing nobody talks about. When you spend your whole life building, you forget to actually live. And Daniel was about to learn that lesson in the most unexpected way possible. His wife, Rachel, had passed away 14 months earlier. A car accident on a Tuesday afternoon. There was no warning, no goodbye, nothing. One minute she was texting him that she was picking up groceries. The next minute she was gone. And she left behind 3 little boys, Marcus, Miles, and Mason, triplets, just 18 months old at the time. Daniel did not know how to grieve and be a father at the same time. So he did what he always did. He worked. He hired a nanny named Gloria, a 54-year-old woman with warm eyes and 20 years of childcare experience, and he threw himself back into the office because the silence at home was too loud. Every morning, he left before the boys woke up. Every night, he came back after they were already asleep. He told himself he was doing it for them, building their future, securing their lives. But deep down, if he was being honest, he could not look at those 3 little faces without seeing Rachel. And that hurt too much, Gloria noticed. She noticed everything. She noticed how Daniel never ate breakfast at home. She noticed how he never asked about the boys' day. She noticed how there were no drawings on the fridge, no little shoes by the door, no signs that a father actually lived there. She worried. But she kept showing up every single day and loving those boys like they were her own grandchildren. Now here is where the story shifts. It was a Wednesday. Daniel had a huge meeting scheduled, a deal that could bring in $7 million. But at 11 a.m., the other party canceled last minute. Just like that, his whole afternoon was empty. His assistant suggested he use the time to catch up on emails. His business partner suggested lunch. But for the first time in over a year, Daniel felt something pull him in a different direction. He got in his car and drove home. He did not call ahead. He did not text Gloria. He just drove. And the whole way there, he told himself he was just going to grab some files he had forgotten. That was the story he was telling himself. Just files. He pulled into the driveway and immediately heard something that stopped him cold. Before he even opened the front door, over the next few weeks, everything shifted. Daniel did not stop working. He was still a businessman. That did not disappear. But he started restructuring his schedule. He blocked off mornings twice a week. He started coming home for dinner. He asked Gloria to teach him the boys' routines. What they liked, what they hated, what made them laugh the hardest. Gloria, for her part, became something like family. Not an employee. Family. Daniel eventually told her, "I hired you to take care of my kids. I didn't realize you were also taking care of me. Here is what this story is really about, though. Because it is bigger than one man and three babies. There is a study from Harvard, one of the longest studies ever done on human happiness, running over 80 years. And the single biggest finding was this: the quality of your relationships is the number one predictor of how happy and healthy you will be. Not your salary, not your job title, not your house, your relationships. Daniel had everything on paper and was completely empty on the inside. It took walking into his own living room unannounced to shake him awake. A lot of people are living that same way right now, building, grinding, chasing, and slowly drifting away from the people and moments that actually matter. The kids who grow up too fast, the parents who get older while we are too busy to visit, the small, ordinary Tuesday afternoons that sound like nothing but are actually everything. The nanny did not do anything dramatic. She did not save anyone in a movie kind of way. She just showed up every single day and loved those kids with her whole heart. And sometimes that quiet, consistent kind of love is the most powerful thing in the world. Daniel Carter learned that on a random Wednesday when a deal fell through and he had nowhere else to be. Sometimes the best thing that can happen to you is an empty afternoon. If this story hit you somewhere real, go watch the next video on your screen right now. You won't regret it.